welcome to my channel. My name is Hannah, and I thought that it would be fun today to just chat about some books that got me back into reading. And by back into reading, I mean like as an adult. So I have been a reader my entire life. Like I grew up reading the series of unfortunate events, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, that kind of stuff. And then Pretty Little Liars, Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, all that stuff. So I always have loved to read, but then you kind of grow out of it, come back. I probably for a lot of my teenage years, early 20s, I read like 5 or 6 books a year, which for some people that is amazing. Like that's all I really read. But I always kind of slowly collected books. Like I've always had some sort of book collection. But then it wasn't until like 2022, like early 2022. I don't know, actually, I do think I know what it was. It was buying a Kindle. I think I just randomly kind of bought a Kindle one day, and then I bought a lot of these books that I'm going to talk about today on my Kindle. And I was in a position, like my job, that I hated, and I had a lot of downtime. So I would read books on my Kindle, like on the Kindle app on my phone. And as I got more into reading, I used my Kindle and stuff at home and then read physical books. It just kind of snowballed into reading more and then discovering the book community, book talk, all of that, until it just snowballed into what it is today, reading like 10, not 10, like 8 to 10 books a month, massive book collection. I've turned my dining room into a library. God bless my boyfriend for letting me do that. And yeah, here we are. So the books I want to talk about and chat about today are the ones in early 2022 that I read then that really kicked off my obsession and reading and kicked it into high gear to lead us to where we are today. So yeah, this is just a chill, cozy little book chat. I hope we're all good with that. So when I picked out these books, I was not part of the book community at all. So I was just kind of going off what stuck out to me, like through Indigo, the Kindle store, like Amazon and stuff, or if I had heard of any books, just like what I was hearing at the time. So I guess I'll start with this one. Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This one really excited me at the time because I had already read his 2 previous books, The Martian. I had read when the movie came out. I wanted to read the book because I've always loved space and astronomy, and even at that time the book really intrigued me, so I read The Martian. And then when his second book came out, Artemis, I also read that one at the time that it came out, which was I think 2017. So I read that one when it came out too. And this one came out in 2021. So when I was looking for books to read, I saw that he had a pretty much new-ish book out, and I got so excited because even then he was one of my favorite authors and still is. I actually just reread this book this month, and I loved it when I first read it, but it is a 6-star read. Like this is one of my top 2 favorite books of all time. And when I read it back then too on my Kindle, I thought the same thing. Like it's just such an amazing book. He's such an amazing writer. So I was really just blown away with it. It's science fiction. It's very scientific speaking. Like I don't even know how to articulate properly the words, but a lot of it definitely kind of goes over your head. I won't talk too much about this now because I am going to do like a wrap up, but I was so happy to have found this when I did, and it's definitely probably one that helped to roll me into some other books and keep the love of books going, of reading going. Highly recommend. It is funny, heartwarming, all of the things. Okay, another one. I think the only true fantasy on this list is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Now, before the haters of this series come for me, I read it before like its huge blow up. Like again, I was not on Book Talk or anything. I feel like this is like the series that a lot of people start their fantasy journey on, and that a lot of people who don't read obsessively like I do and a lot of the book community do, read this book kind of, like everyone read The Hunger Games, everyone read Twilight, even if you weren't like a super reader. I feel like this series is like that. But even then, I had heard of it. A YouTuber that I loved had raved about this series, and I had wanted to get to it, so I read it. I had the, okay, it looks like I read this one physically, and I think I read the rest on my Kindle. But you guys don't understand. Like, yes, is this series the most well written series ever? Absolutely not. Like, it's not. But at the time that I read this first book was life changing to me. I don't like, I see so many people struggle through this first one, and people are like, it gets better, it gets better. Legitimately, for me, when I read this book was like a 6-star read. This one was my favorite one. This was the first adult fantasy, the first book with spice in it that I ever read. So there were so many like brain altering and like firsts for me in this book that I think this book just has a special place in my heart, and really was the bouncing off point for me in my reading journey to then get into more fantasy, because at this time the only fantasy I had read was Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, like that kind of stuff. So this really was the first spice, the first adult fantasy, the first higher, it's not high fantasy, but not children's fantasy, you know what I mean? And I had never read something where when your main character meets someone, like things are not as they seem. They don't work out how they seem in the beginning of it. And to me, that was honestly mind-blowing. I didn't know it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling throughout the entire thing. I had no idea. So, is this series overhyped? Probably, yeah. Is it the best thing in the world? Absolutely not. Like, I get that, but also just let people like what they like. It meant a lot to me at the time and allowed me to push into other genres, other fantasy. So, this series, excuse me, will always have a special place in my heart. But I am also trying not to buy so much Sarah J. Maas anymore. But yeah, this was years ago, and next, I brought this book as a placeholder just so I can have something to hold. I haven't actually read Carrie Soto is Back, but the next book is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, also by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I read on my Kindle, and is one of the only OG books for me that I never bought a physical copy of. But that book, again, was, kind of mind-blowing. I didn't know where it was going at all. Like, I went into all of these completely not knowing anything about them. I hadn't really heard anything about them, just that they were popular. So I ate that one up. I remember sitting in my office on my phone, just gobbling that book up. I love her, like, interview style books and kind of drama, and they're all, at least the ones that I've read, are slightly more history literature. What am I trying to say? Take place not in current times. But yeah, I ate that book up, and that book started my love for Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm actually currently listening to Daisy Jones and the Six. I don't know why it's taking me so long to get to it, but I am loving it so far. Okay, the only kind of mystery / thriller I have on this list is Misery by Stephen King. No, I don't think this was the first Stephen King book that I read, but I did read it around that time, and it is to this day my favorite Stephen King novel. I have seen the movie Misery multiple times. Like, I think I first saw it in high school, and I loved it. That is a rare time where I saw the movie before reading the book. I think because I saw it probably too young, but I loved it, so I wanted to read the book. And yeah, watching the movie first did not take away from this book at all. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It is so disturbing. A couple scenes in particular But yeah, it's about a famous writer who is traveling during a snowstorm, gets in an accident. His biggest fan ever just so happens to rescue him and bring him back to health, but doesn't necessarily want to let him go. So it's good stuff. Also, one really interesting thing that I've noticed is that the books from this time period that I read are still some of my top favorite books of all time. And since then, I have read like 200 books. So it honestly, I'm like, because I've thought about it before, and I'm like, why is that? Like, do I read too many books now to the point where I've kind of desensitized my mind to stories and novel formats? Like, does that make sense? Like, I kind of worry about that a little bit because, yeah, like my favorite thriller, obviously A Court of Thorns and Roses is not my favorite fantasy book, but it was such a pillar for me moving forward. Project Hail Mary, one of my favorite books of all time. Same with this next one. If you haven't heard me yap about this book, I have and most definitely will continue to do so in the future. It is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I also read at this time. And these two books, ruined my pile. These two books are my favorite books of all time, and I read them at that time. So like nothing in the over like 3 years since I read these books. I've read like 200 books since, and nothing has been able to top it. You know, like I just wonder why that is. But yes, this book was life-changing to me. I now own 3 copies of it. Again, I went into it completely knowing nothing, and it was just everything. I don't even know how to explain this book. I know not everyone likes it. They think it's slow. I thought it was perfect. It is historical fiction mixed with current times. It is magical realism. A girl makes a deal with the devil for freedom. The devil twists her words, and now she lives forever, but no one can remember her. Like, they'll meet her, turn their back, come back. It's like they never met her. So she lives this kind of cursed life until one day someone remembers her, and everything about this book. Everything about it. I'm planning on rereading it like next month because I am actually going to see V.E. Schwab for a talk about her new book, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, which I'm so freaking excited about. And there's a cat in this book named Book, and if I don't have a cat named Book at some point in my life, I will riot. Mark my words. Okay, actually, I made a list here. One other book that I don't have physically is The Midnight Library. This is it here. Who wrote it? Matt Haig? Is that right? I didn't write it down. I know that book has gotten really good reviews. I don't think I've seen a bad review about it, but I didn't actually love it, which is why I never ended up buying the physical. I found it a little bit boring. I didn't fully see not the point of it, but yeah, I just didn't love it. So, but it was during that time, and I appreciate my time reading it. Just was not my fave. Okay. And then lastly, I don't remember which book I read first, but around that time, probably after all of these, I got into Emily Henry, who is now one of my only favorite romance writers. As you can tell, I'm not the biggest like pure romance reader, but Emily Henry is an exception. She is an auto-buy author for me. Her books are just a lot deeper than just a fluffy romance, and her banter is great. Her writing's amazing. Love her. Her other books, her newer books, are downstairs, but these are her first 3, and the first 3 that I read, I brought them all up because I don't remember what the first one was. And if I'm being honest, these 3, Beach Lovers, People We Meet on Vacation, and Beach Read, in my mind, all kind of blend together, which is really bad. I need to reread all 3 of these, and And what's also funny is the first couple that I read, I didn't even love them. I think I was expecting fluffy romances, and then I didn't get that, so I was like disappointed. But then at Happy Place, like I knew what she was about and knew what to expect, and then all of her books have been 5 stars after that. So I think I need to read these 3 again with a different mindset, knowing what they are now. And I think I will rate them differently. And also for the fact that I cannot separate these 3 books in my mind is not a good thing. But yeah, I did read them years ago at this point. Oh, 2022. 2022. 2021. So maybe this was the first one I read. Honestly, I don't know. Oh, 2020 was Beach Read. Maybe Beach Read was the first. Whatever. They look beautiful on my shelves together. Okay. And that is pretty much all of the books that got me into reading again as an adult. And then, yeah, still like made up of my favorite authors and favorite books, which I just find wild. I want to do like a video that has my like god tier books, like 6-star, 5-6-star reads, and I think I need to wait a little bit to do that because half of those books are right here and I just talked about them. There are still other ones. I don't know what, like, this year has been a really good reading year so far, especially the last couple months. I don't know if I've just been able to kind of fine tune my reading preferences a little bit more, but especially the last couple months, I've had a lot of 5-star reads, which is really nice. So that is going to be it from me today. If you got this far in the video, thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more book content. I have lots planned, some book reading vlogs, all sorts of stuff. If you have suggestions, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments below. Go take care of yourself, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!